So Philip Rivers has just been announced to be going to the Colts. As of Ian Rappaport, he said the deal will be around 25 million a year when it's done. It looks like we don't yet know how many years, so we're still in the early stages. But again, Rappaport is a guy I trust, and the Indianapolis Colts now have Philip Rivers. And actually, I just looked at it right now. It's 1 year, 25 million guaranteed. Actually, a really fun move, I think. Just 1 year. You don't see 1 year contracts with the quarterback position too often. I kind of like it. I think Philip Rivers still has talent. I don't think he's washed up completely at all. And on top of that, it's just 1 year. So if he sucks, then whatever. You'll get a good draft pick next year and can try to do something better next year. So I actually really like this move a lot from the Colts' perspective. I do not think Rivers is washed up. I'll get into that in the film study portion in just a second. I do think that certain aspects of Rivers' game have deteriorated, but at the same time, I'm just looking at this and saying, this is the perfect situation for him. They have some really good offensive linemen. It seems like they probably could use another receiver, so that's kind of the one thing that I would say they could have looked to improve on. Maybe it'll try to get one in the second round. They do have a decent second round pick. I believe it's the 45th overall pick, if I'm doing math correctly. So they could maybe get something there. But other than that, I love this signing. I think it's a great move for Rivers. I think it's pretty much the best situation for Rivers. So I like it a lot, and I'll just explain why with the film study. I want to start things off with this play. This is a good example of what I'm going to be talking about a good amount when it comes to Philip Rivers, and it's just the fact that he's just a fearless player. This guy, he is not afraid to throw 4 interceptions or 5 interceptions in a game if it results in him potentially having a better chance to win. He would rather throw 5 interceptions and win than throw 0 interceptions and lose, no doubt about it. And this is a good example of his fearless play, where it's going to be a cover 1 linebacker blitz. Actually, the first few plays you're going to see are going to be this play, this defensive coverage. But what's interesting here is that he has a receiver, Keenan Allen, running that route right there. It's a curl route, and this is a good route against this type of coverage for several reasons. One of those reasons is just it's a one-on-one matchup, so Keenan Allen, he wins a lot of one-on-one matchups. If he can win this one, he can absolutely get open. You can get some yards that way. But also, with there being just one safety who is deep, this now means that potentially, if Allen is going to run a go route, that would be a bad situation because he could potentially get open. So, as a defensive player in charge of covering Allen, you're going to just pay him a little bit more attention. And so watch, after the ball is snapped, you see Allen is getting ready to be open. I mean, his assigned man is making sure he doesn't get beat deep right here. So for Allen, this is a great situation since he is going to be cutting back. He is going to get open, but what I love about this play from Rivers' perspective is if you look at him, he's already in the throwing motion. He's already getting ready to make this throw, and again, this goes back to that fearless mindset, where if he waited a little bit longer, it would then mean that there's less chance of an interception. If there's a defensive back trying to jump the route, he would notice that, but at the same time, it would mean that the play has less of a chance of working, and as you see, him making the throw right then absolutely worked out. It's that fearless style of play where, you just trust that you're going to figure something out and that your players are going to win their one-on-one matchups, and more often than not, you making those types of throws is going to have a positive impact, and that positive impact will outweigh the negative impact of the interceptions. That's just kind of been Rivers' mindset his entire career, and you know what? It is what's gotten him to being a borderline Hall of Famer. And it's not just with those kind of plays, it's also with the deep ball. He's not afraid to air one out. This one's a good example where it's going to be a cover 1 blitz. And what's interesting here is that, it's a very similar idea where cover 1 blitz, but this time it's going to be Mike Williams running that route right there. That's the route that's going to work. It's a deep route. So this is kind of what on the last play, the Houston Texan player was afraid of. Well, this is actually the route that he was afraid of. It's a deep route down the field. And again, so after the ball is snapped, you look over here, and there is no way of knowing if Mike Williams is going to get open or not. There just isn't. This is why they call it a 50-50 ball, because at this point, you pretty much have to make your decision now. There's pressure coming. Rivers has really no more time. He has to make this throw right now. And if he does make this throw, it's a huge risk. I mean, without a doubt, this could result in the pass getting knocked away. This could result in an interception if the defensive player makes a good enough job on this play. you would love to not take those types of risk and do a better job at just being able to, have these wide open throws, but that just doesn't happen in football. You're going to have to take some risks sometimes. And again, Rivers is fearless. He fires it in that direction. Mike Williams makes a very good catch. But again, I mean, one person might sit here and say that Mike Williams is bailing out Rivers, that, having Keenan Allen and Mike Williams make him look better. And, I mean, I suppose you can argue that. I think that's a fair argument. But I say that there's just as much Phillip Rivers taking advantage of having those types of guys on his team. Like, this play is another perfect example. This is the same game, same defensive coverage, and Mike Williams is running the same route. The only difference is now he's to Rivers' right as opposed to his left. But other than that, this is a very similar situation. And again, very similarly, after the ball is snapped, Rivers has no way of knowing if this is going to work out or not. This is a 50-50 ball. He's going to take a chance if he fires it in that direction, but he's the type of guy who does not mind taking a chance. He is going to fire it in that direction, and it works out. I mean, it helps that the defensive player fell down, but at the same time, it was a good route by Mike Williams, and that's just what Rivers does. That's the bright side of Phillip Rivers, is the fact that he'll make those types of throws that, honestly, with the way games are called today, where offensive players can push off a lot more than defensive players can, more often than not, those are going to be completions. So while yes, everybody will criticize you when things go wrong, there are some upsides. But again, there are some obvious downsides. Like on a play like this, it's going to be a cover 2 zone this time, and that's the route that he likes on this play. It's once again Mike Williams. It's a receiver he trusts. And also keep in mind that it's worth mentioning the situation that this play is in. The Chargers are currently down big in the fourth quarter, so they need some splash plays if they're going to have a chance right here. So this route, yes, it's better with only one safety deep than 2 safeties deep, but there is a chance that, there is going to be a window, as you see, that maybe Rivers can try to fit it through. So after the ball is snapped, you look, and the second that Williams is getting past the player who's in charge of covering the middle of the field, there is a window where Rivers can make this throw. Now, there's also a safety in the area, so it's a risky play, but Rivers is willing to take this risk given the situation where they're down and need to come back. However, it's just going to be not a great play. I mean, for one thing, the throw wasn't particularly good, and it results in interception. He probably needed to get it there quicker. He didn't time it perfectly, and he needed a little bit more zip on it, which, that has been one of the criticisms that Rivers has been getting, and it is a fair criticism. It seems like he's not throwing the ball as hard, as consistently as he has in the past. He was that big arm guy. It seems like, again, it's a consistency thing, I think. He will occasionally throw one where you're just like, that did not look great coming out of his hand. It has to be mentioned. Like, listen, the guy's not 25 anymore. He just isn't. But that being said, it's not like this guy can't throw the ball hard or can't make these good throws either. I mean, he absolutely can. He's still a very good thrower of the football, I think. I think that maybe he's not as good as he once was, but that's not to say that he's not good. Like, take a look at this one. Keenan Allen is going to be running a route towards the sideline like that. It's a good route against this type of coverage, good low-risk, high-reward type play. Now, basically, there's only going to be one Houston player who can get in the way and try to make this play, and it's going to be that player right over there. And so after the ball is snapped, Allen does cut over, and at this point, it's kind of the luxury of playing in the end zone is that you don't have to worry about trying to make a tackle because if it's a catch, it's a touchdown. So you can try to jump this route and try to knock it away, maybe even try to intercept it. So Rivers is going to take this chance, but again, he has to make sure he gets it over towards the sideline and he gets it there quickly, because if he throws this one a little bit lower, or if he throws this one a little bit slow, throws it a little bit closer away from the sideline, he could be in trouble. However, he's going to make really just a perfect throw right there, which results in a touchdown. So, yeah, I think Rivers still has some talent. Absolutely. I don't think this is just, this isn't going to be a one of those, like, Emmitt Smith with the Cardinals type seasons. It's just not going to be that way, simply because I think that he still has talent left in him. But, that's just my opinion. We'll have to see how things go. Again, I'm saying the same thing with Brady, that who knows, you are signing an older quarterback, so there is a very real chance that next year he just doesn't play as well as maybe you would have thought. But anyways, it's all interesting stuff. I'd like to know what you guys think, and of course, as always, thanks for watching.